It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. There's a thing we've talked about for, I don't know, Sean, since you and I have been working together. And it goes like this: capacity versus demand. We talk about it all the time. If you're in the home service business, whether you're cleaning houses, pressure washing stuff, mowing lawns, I don't care what it is. If you're a darn chiropractor, capacity versus demand. How much resources do you need to serve the demand for your service? And there's a part of why I think this year for CBF Live is going to be so transformational, and why I pointed back to the COVID year is things were changing then super fast. Now they're like changing slow, and we're all sitting here like, are they changing or are they not changing? Are they like, they're changing? All right.
It's always changing.
Always changing. And Debbie, one of the things I love about just listening to you talk is, and you joke about it, but you've had so many experiences. Like when this comes up, this isn't the first time you've seen this thing. For a lot of people in this business, this is the first time they've seen this sort of thing happening. And this is a bit of a roller coaster. One of the weird things with capacity and demand is that the tighter you manage it, the closer your capacity and your demand match, the better your business runs. If you have too many employees and not enough customers, things suck. If you have too many customers and not enough employees, things suck. So you're always running this business, and I like to paint the picture of it's like a car driving down the street, but you've got a gas pedal for marketing for your demand and a gas pedal for recruiting for your capacity. And they each have their own, neither one has a steering wheel. They just each got their own track and gas pedal. And so you invest in one and you push the gas pedal on one, but if you only do marketing and you only push the demand, you spin in a circle. And if you only did recruiting and if you only put gas in that gas tank and only push that gas pedal, you spin in a circle. And so our business is just this car driving down the street with two gas pedals, and like the money is the fuel, right? But we got to decide when we're going to invest it and how hard we're going to push. And if we can push both of those pedals at the same time and get the same result, like, holy shit, we can go fast. But if one starts to outpace the other, we spin in a circle. And like spin out. And we've all been there where it's like, oh my God, I don't have any cleaners for tomorrow, and everybody called in and two people just quit, and we don't have the capacity, but we have the demand, and holy shit, this is crazy. And the other thing can happen too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I got all these employees and I want to give them jobs, but all these customers cancel because they're afraid of COVID. They don't want us to clean, right? Something goofy that I see that's about to happen is demand is starting to drop. You mentioned it, Debbie. It's not, it hasn't fallen off the rails. It's not like a depression, but we're starting to see people consumers have the same fear factor that we do as business owners, right? Not everybody is a buffalo. So they're starting to pull back and be like uncertain. Like, I don't know if I can spend this money because I don't know what's happening. Usually when that happens, that means there's like more people available to work. But Sean, you've been saying it, and you said it last night, all of a sudden, like, yeah, the workforce was starting to come back, but now like unemployment actually went down the last report. And so we're still in a tough labor market. And so this is going to get really interesting. Like if employees are still really hard to find and customers are really hard to find, that's a pretty challenging business to run.
You better roll up your sleeves and have a strategy.
Yeah. Yep. You better go to CBF Live, cbflive.com, coupon code Blue Skies 50. Get your ass to CBF Live, because that's what's going to be talked about. You need to know how to market in that case. You need to go talk to Sean Day and Libby at Woo Recruit. You got to find out how you're going to find employees during this market, because you can't do one without the other. You can't just run a business with employees, and you can't just run a business with customers. Capacity and demand.
I love that. And I love the example you gave. This is not the time to hide under a blanket, right? During a recession, when times get tough and customers are dropping off a little bit at a higher rate than we're used to, and it seems still difficult to hire employees, this is not the time to hide under a blanket. You will shrink. You will go backwards. And those that know what they're doing are going to pass you up so fast, your head will spin. So like Dan said, get your butt to CBF Live, because we're going to show you how to navigate the storms of a recession. And we're going to show you the tools, the technology, the tactics, the strategies on how to navigate that storm. And unfortunately, I have been through numerous recessions and downturns. Some of these cleaning business owners started, Dan, during the peak of the economy, which we've had a booming economy for several years. So they're like, I don't even know what that's like.
Customers are just falling into my lap. I'm turning them away. I don't have enough employees to serve them all.
Fish jumping in a boat. Well, you were going to find out how it looks when you're riding in a boat and the fish are jumping out. And what do you do then? Because you don't have to go out of business. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to come out at the bottom. You can come out at the top. You know, during the Great Depression, more millionaires were made during the Great Depression than any other time in the history of this country. Why? During the first 2 recessions that I went through as a business owner, where I was immature, I was very fragile, my model was kind of broken, my profitability was sketchy and unpredictable. I didn't have it all worked out. I went through 2 major recessions. I shrunk dramatically and almost went out of business twice. Almost went out of business twice after hitting $1 million. So that's supposed to be the safe zone after hitting $1 million. But then the last couple of recession and downturns, one would be the pandemic, and the one before that was 2006, 2007. For those that went through that, it was a nightmare. I grew through both of those because I was prepared. I understood I don't have to lose ground during a recession. I can actually gain ground. I can actually scoop up my competition that's going to drop like a fly. They're going to give up and quit, and I'm going to scoop up their business, and I'm going to scoop up their employees, and I'm going to scoop up their customers. And I did it through the pandemic. I did it through the last recession. I grew through both of them dramatically. You don't have to shrink, and we want to help you. And I think any service business would benefit from this, but our talks are generally geared towards residential cleaning.
Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.